You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
The disrespectful intellectual, the Southern gentleman, the worldwide Grand Prix champion, and the IWA North Carolina champion, the incredible Will Huckabee. And as usual, I have with me the hardest working man in wrestling podcast history, the man, the myth, the legend, Killer Kev. Kev, what's going on tonight, man?
Not a whole lot going on. How was your weekend, Will?
Weekend was pretty good, man. Didn't do a whole lot. Saturday, traveled up to Parkersburg, West Virginia. Was supposed to be in Nelsonville, but ended up in, show got canceled. Things got rearranged and stuff at the last minute. Was fortunate enough to find a spot on the show in Parkersburg, West Virginia for, XEW or something like that. I had a really good time. It was a small venue. When I say small, I mean very small venue. I think the venue held a max capacity of like maybe 40 people. But it was cool because there was about 40 people in there, so it was a packed house. But once again, for the second week in a row, and I don't know if this is starting to become a trend or whatever for me, wrestling kid who was very green. I think I was his fifth match ever. Once again, being the kind, considerate guy that I am, Kev, you know, I put the guy over once again. The way I look at it is, if I go over, then I just beat this greenhorn. But if he beats me, you know, now we have a story. We have something to chew on and stuff. So, put this greenhorn over once again, with a schoolboy. You know, I'm not letting anybody hit me with a finisher or nothing like that. Beat the piss out of him for about 4 or 5 minutes. Went for the coup de grace, slide behind, go behind, whatever you want to call it. Schoolboy, 1, 2, 3. But just very fortunate to do the show, man. There's a lot of guys there, that I know, a lot of friends and stuff. TJ Phillips, my homeboy, the Get Bundles, Smokey C, the powers that be at the company are really cool. They're very gracious. They was thanking me nonstop, for coming in, you know, and doing the favor and working with their young talent. What they're really trying to do is develop young, hungry talent and stuff, especially in the West Virginia indie wrestling scene and stuff, man. So I was very glad, very thankful that they thought about me and gave me a spot and let me come in and work with some of the young talent and shit. So that was pretty cool. Funny thing is, yesterday, made an appearance on the Wrestle City Radio. It's a live show, actually, Kev. They tape the show live every Monday, I want to say. Jorge and Red Velvet, who's a really young female wrestler out of South Florida and stuff, had a chance to meet her. I actually met her like a year and a half ago in West Virginia, when she came up to Mega Wrestling with JB Smooth, promoter down in South Florida. So I did the podcast yesterday, man. I was supposed to only go like 30, 45 minutes, but you know how these things are, Kev. Like, you know, you start talking and things are just clicking. You got a good host, you have a good guest. Kind of like how what happened on this show. You need to go 30, 45 minutes, and you end up going like an hour and 10. Funny thing about the show yesterday, Kev, is, and to our fans and listeners, that somebody, because it's a live show, they have fans call in. So yesterday, who the fuck, right at the end of the show, they opened the phone lines, you know, for listeners to call in and talk to me, ask me a question. And some guy from out of Philly, and I show, you know, of course, it's Philadelphia, for God's sake, called in from Philly and tried to heckle me. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. He said some pretty adult language stuff I'm not going to repeat on this show. Just know that it involves my manhood and his manhood. And so, you know, before I could really answer his question or reply back there, cut the phone lines off. And me being the kind of guy that I am, I was like, hey, no, don't cut the phone lines off. Like, when a guy wants to heckle, like, I'm fine with that. I get heckled every week. There's always somebody trying to heckle me. I wear spandex and baby oil every weekend. So somebody would think that they're good enough to trade words with me. By all means, I relish the challenge. So, you know, we put a call back out. I got back on the show and got back on live. It was like, hey, look, to that last caller from Philadelphia, if you want to call back, then you can have a meeting of the minds. We can trade wits, and I'll let you say everything you want to say, but you're going to listen to what I have to listen to also. Like most people, like most hecklers and stuff, the guy was a coward and never called back in. We gave him the 10 count, you know, counted the dude out, down for the count, 1, 2, 3. After the show, turns out that the guy wasn't even from Philly. So I have to apologize to anybody who's listening to that episode of Wrestle City Radio. I may or may not have said some pretty harsh things about the city of Philadelphia. None of it was true, though. I mean, none of it was false. Everything I said about Philadelphia was true. The Philadelphia Eagles fans actually at one point actually booed Santa Claus right there in their football stadium. They threw batteries and snowballs and booed Santa Claus during the Christmas game. The Philadelphia 76ers are not the greatest team in basketball. Like, I can remember the last time anybody ever talked about the 76ers. The hockey team's not doing that great. The baseball team's not doing that great. I was like, to tell you the truth, the most famous person that comes from Philadelphia is Rocky, and in my opinion, Clubber Lang should have beat his ass. I was like, hey, the best thing that ever come out of Philadelphia, besides Rocky, was cheesesteaks and water ice. So, but to any of our listeners and fans who are from the Philadelphia area, I will apologize for talking negatively about your city. It's given us so many great things as far as wrestling goes, such as ECW and things of that nature. So I apologize for that. Anything, let's see, besides the huge announcement of, the brackets for the G1 Classic for New Japan Pro Wrestling and the matches, I'm trying to think, has anything special really happened? Oh, I know what happened. Let's talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw last night real quick. Kev, I know you don't watch Raw. I didn't get a chance. I watched the clip. I didn't watch the entire 3-hour show because sometimes watching Raw is cruel and inhumane punishment. But I did watch the clip with the Ball family. For anybody who doesn't know, the Ball family, what's his name? LeVar Ball is the father, correct, Kev?
I have no idea. I follow the NBA about as much as I follow WWE Raw at this point. So well, I am totally not cool on this network.
Okay, well, the Ball family, the oldest son, second round draft pick out of UCLA, just got drafted to the Lakers. Go figure that, Monday Night Raw was in the Staples Center and stuff, right after NBA draft day. The entire Ball family, the son, the father, the youngest brother, all show up on Raw during the Miz's talk show segment. And I guess the youngest son, things got physical, and the youngest son started yelling out racial slurs, basically kicked that N-word's ass. And of course everybody's up in arms about it because, WWE made an official statement, apologizing for the language and stuff. Of course they have to. It's a publicly traded company. Not only that, but this stuff was said live. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kev, but isn't WWE, even if you don't watch it, the most live shows are on a 5-second tape delay?
They don't have to be. I thought maybe that was a rule. I don't know.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and say that for the sake of posterity and consistency, that most live shows, I know most award shows are the 5-second tape delay because of incidents like this, where people may say something or something may happen, and you might have to edit that out before it's sent live out and everybody sees it.
Well, let me just correct this because I'm specifically about this on public networks that are over the air that have to have an FCC license to broadcast over the air. They do have to implement a delay like that by law now because of incidents in the past. That's FCC ruling. However, on cable, that's not regulated by the FCC. Cable, they can pretty much do whatever they want. So while a lot of them will implement a live censor, they don't have to. Because, basically, they can run through the gamut of curse words at 8 p.m. all they want, and there's nothing the government will do about it.
Well, see, that's just ridiculous. If WWE is claiming that they're PG-13, and then you don't use a 5-second tape delay. Like, you have people on your show that are not performers. They're not under contract. They don't know anything about the wrestling business. I'm not making any excuses for the youngest son because somebody should, first of all, you should have known better. Like, hey, look, you're on national TV. You know, your father's already made a big enough jackass of himself several times over on other TV shows and stuff. But now you're on national live TV. You can't use language like that. You have to censor yourself. You know, there are people. I've seen so many people try to make excuses for the usage for the youngest brother's language and stuff. There's no excuse. I don't care if you're white, black, purple. As a buddy of mine down in Georgia said, you can be magenta for all I care. There's no place, not only in professional wrestling, but in society, period, to use that kind of language. If you choose to do that in the privacy of your own home, when you're around, like, you know, your trusted friends and family, then that's by all means, do whatever you do. But when you're out in public and you're representing not only a wrestling company, but you're representing your family, you're representing a brand, you have to be able to censor yourself and use appropriate language. I hope that now WWE has learned their lesson, and if they're not using a 5-second tape delay, they start using it now. Like I said, there were people making excuses because there was like Vince McMahon used the N-word in a backstage vignette with Booker T and John Cena. And, you know, Booker T, the famous incident with Booker T and Hulk Hogan, the whole "we're coming for you" N-word. You know, they talk about rap songs and movies where that word is used. It doesn't matter. I don't care who uses it or whatever. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean that you have to say it. And then, once again, this kid is a child. He's like 14, maybe 15 years old. He shouldn't be using, besides using the N-word, he definitely shouldn't be cursing. At that age, I'm 37 years old right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I still don't use profanity in front of my mother, just because my mom is she's a southern woman, you know what I'm saying, and she'll backhand the piss out of you, if one of her kids curses around her whatsoever. You know, it's my mother and my grandmother used to say, you're never too old for an ass whooping. And even at 37 years old, I watched what I said in front of my mom, just on the offhand chance and possibility that she might decide to whoop my ass in front of my wife and kids, which would be totally embarrassing. Kev, do you have any opinion about what happened? Like I said, I'm pretty sure that you didn't watch what happened. If you're on social media today, you had no choice. There was no avoidance whatsoever.
No, I don't really have an opinion on it. I mean, you know, really, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, how dare Vince do this? Why does Vince continue to do this to himself? Why does he continue to allow these celebrities come on? It just makes the product look bad. You know, listen, I'm gonna have an opinion, but it's a really old opinion. It's nothing that you've not heard out of my mouth before. And that's basically the reason Vince McMahon does this is because it gets him press and TMZ. It gets him attention for the mainstream, and he feels that this kind of stuff is still pushing edge. This really is still the continuation of the Attitude Era. You know, he loves the Attitude Era. He wishes he could do the Attitude Era forever. You know, if that shit sold 365 days a year for the next 50 years, he would do it and he wouldn't change the formula a bit. He is absolutely in love with that because really the Attitude Era is everything that Vince McMahon ever wanted for himself. That's really what the Attitude Era is. It is the pure reflection of Vince McMahon's whole entire mentality. He's got this whole fantasy world in his head, and this is where Vince McMahon is the superstar, and it's all about his attitude more than anything else. So, you know, he'll jump on this every once in a while whenever he gets a chance. So, you know, this plays right up his alley. There's no downside for him. If the ratings go down a little bit, he don't give a fuck. He's paid already. His deal with USA Network is secure. The government's not going to come after him for it. You know, the only thing that's going to happen is the People's Television Council is going to file 500 fake complaints about it, you know, from 8 people using 35 different computers in California. So, you know, there's no downside. I mean, there's literally no downside for him at all. Whatever controversy comes up out of this, either it's going to attract people or it's not, and he's moving on.
Definitely. Well, moving on to other things. Like I said earlier, the New Japan Pro Wrestling, the G1 Classic, the different blocks, the participants for the different blocks and stuff were announced earlier last week, and then today, last night, whatever you want to call it, this week, the actual matches, the key matches that everybody wants to see, has been announced, and of course, right at the top of that of those matches that everybody wants to see is Kenny Omega versus Okada 3. I want to say that's the last match for each one of them. It's on the last day of the G1 Classic, basically. That's the last match each one of them are going to have, et cetera, et cetera. Like, do you think that's a huge mistake for them to put them both in the same block, Kev?
Honestly, I don't know. I've not been able to keep up on it. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know.
I'm gonna say, because I know once again that the good folks at Thursday Night AMP are definitely going to talk about this. But because I won't be a guest in the show this week, I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 cents in like this. I think that it's a huge mistake to give away that third match so fast after they just had another 6-star classic match at Dominion. I much would have rather seen them both in different blocks. Unfortunately, New Japan just has this habit of stacking the A block with all the top guys, and the B block may have 1 or 2 top guys or legitimate, stars and stuff, and then the rest is the mid-card guys or whatever. I would have rather seen Okada in Block A and Omega in Block B, and maybe, if we're lucky, we get to see these guys face each other in the finals. But you know what I'm saying? There's no definite telling. Now we know that we're definitely going to get a third match between these two guys. And it's going to blow, in my opinion, it's going to blow whatever they do. I feel that, of course, Okada has to beat Kenny Omega once again in this match. Or maybe Okada, I don't know. It could go either way. But I mean, in my opinion, it's a huge mistake to have these two guys face each other in the G1 Classic. They definitely should have held off on that third match for a couple of months, if not next year's Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, I mean, it's in a tournament though, so I mean, maybe they're looking at it as, well, this doesn't really count as a match, but at the same time, we're going to feed fans that third match that they're really wanting, but they know that this win, it's not going to mean as much because the focus is on winning the tournament, not settling this personal issue that's developed between them, the two of them. So whoever wins this match is going to hold that win over the other one's head, and that's going to drive the rivalry going into a future match outside of a tournament to decide it once and for all.
Well, then, if that's the case, then we're going to go ahead and say that Omega has to win this match versus Okada, especially the way that Abby over there at Thursday Night AMP, the way she said the storyline's going. It's not so much that right now we're seeing the rise of Omega, but we're seeing the fall of Okada. Like, now we have to see Omega beat Okada, like you said, in this tournament match. So now he's like, okay, I know I can beat him. I finally beat him, now I need to fight him for the title. If Okada beats Omega in the tournament, what's the point of him wrestling him again unless Omega wins the G1 and then he can challenge for the heavyweight title, the IWGP heavyweight title again. So if the way you're saying is how they're looking at it and stuff, then Omega has to win their match and stuff in the G1 Classic.
There you go.
Now speaking of classics, we have a great set of guys as guests on tonight's show. When you think of wrestling gimmicks, you think of all the classic wrestling gimmicks there are. There's The Undertaker with the Dead Man gimmick, and there's Hulk Hogan being the Incredible Hulk Hogan, or, whatever, just Hulk Hogan. Roddy Piper, Mr. Perfect, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Our guests tonight, I'm putting them in that category of classic gimmicks, of classic just wrestlers and personalities when it comes to professional wrestling. Our guests tonight are the current NWA United States Heavyweight Champion, the former PWX Tag Team Champions. They hold, I don't know, if you follow them on social media, you know that their hashtag is all the titles. Would say the champions, They are the founders of the hashtag Workhorsemen. They're Vince Russo approved. And you can check out, most of the time, if you follow them on social media, you should definitely follow them on social media. Matter of fact, you can always find out what's going on in the duck pond. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, my guests on the show for the Wrestling Nerdcast are the spectacular Ugly Ducklings, Rob Killjoy, Lance Lude. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing tonight?
Quack, quack. We're doing quacktastic.
Quacktastic.
We're doing well, Will. I have to correct you on one little small portion of your intro. We actually collect hashtag all the grilled cheeses.
I was going to get into that. Okay, since y'all already corrected me, and I apologize for that. What is the deal with all the grilled cheeses? What does that mean?
What do you think it means? What does it mean to you?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you, Will Huckabee?
Okay, Rob. All right, Rob. I'm gonna go ahead and take a guess. I guess you say all the grilled cheeses. You're talking about all the gold, all the titles. Am I correct?
That's one interpretation.
Yeah, that's one interpretation. I mean, you got to think about it, Will. All the grilled cheeses, when you're hungry, you want all the grilled cheeses. You don't want just one grilled cheese. You're hungry. You want them all. So we
grilled
go out and
it's objective.
We gather all the grilled cheeses.
Yeah. So whatever grilled cheese means to you, whatever grilled cheese is in your life, that's what we're after. That's what you should be after. You find the grilled cheese in your life and you attain that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So basically, you guys are hungry, and grilled cheeses is not only tag team titles or whatever, but it's the respect of not only wrestling peers but the fans as well. I'm taking that as.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna start with you, Rob. Who came up with the name? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rob Killjoy, by the way. Who came up? How did y'all come up with the name The Ugly Ducklings? Where did that come from?
That was just a very Four Horsemen-like type moment. It was just, we just said, call us that, and nobody has okayed it. And nobody, it wasn't supposed to, as you guys say in the business, get over. I'm doing air quotes right now. I don't know if you could see me.
I could see them.
I'm air quoting. It wasn't supposed to get over. Okay, I'm done air quoting now, as it did. But, we did, against management's wishes, against everybody. But I will clear up this one thing, because I always say two things every podcast we do. First, I hope you don't have a format, because we're going to step all over that. And second, we created ourselves, regardless of what anybody says. No one created us. No one named us. We did. Not another wrestling company, not Vince Russo, nobody created us. We've finally gotten approval from these people, but we created ourselves. We are a self-created entity.
We're self-made ducks.
There you go.
No, trust me. First of all, for your first bullet point, we have no format here. And this is, I guess you can say this is an adult-rated show, because I've had Rip Rogers and White. Yes, we had White Mike on the show. So unless you think you can out-curse White Mike and Rip Rogers from OVW, you know what I'm saying, it's okay.
Well, first, the mistake was letting White Mike know that he's able to cuss. That's
a bad thing to do.
He definitely did. So, Lance, speaking of what Rob had said, you guys are self-made. Former ROH star, you tag team specialist. Me myself, when I first got into wrestling, you were in the already in the tag team. You was in a tag team called The Set and stuff. And I've seen your singles work and stuff all over the indies. Because it's not a gimmick for you. This is, Lance Lude, what you see in the Ugly Ducklings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lance 24/7. These guys like to have fun. They clown around a lot, but they work their asses off. But getting back to you, Lance, is there any difference? From where you were as a singles wrestler before the Ugly Ducklings was formed to now, was there any huge change? Are you having more fun now as part of the Ugly Ducklings than when you were a singles wrestler?
It's like 14 questions.
Let's see. The difference. I mean, I don't really see, like, I don't see myself, like, having, like, I would say I'm having way more fun doing the Ugly Ducklings gimmick just because it's, you know, we have this whole group. We have Mikey, we have Rob, we have myself, and then, of course, we have, like, the whole duck pond with all the crowd, like, being so interactive and just, like, it makes every time going out there just that much more fun, you know? Don't get me wrong, I have fun doing singles work too, but there's just something special about going out there and putting smiles on people's faces and having people see that it's okay to have fun at wrestling shows. Like, let's have fun. Like, that's what we're here for, you know? So I would say, you know, this tag thing is way more fun. There's way more opportunities, way more things that can be done with this, you know, over being singles. So yeah, I mean, I'd have to say I enjoy working tag way more than singles.
Listen, I think what he's trying to say, the overall gist, the roundabout point he's trying to make is that he loves me and he loves teaming with me, and it's real fun.
Now, I'm going to ask both of you this.
Will, Huckabee, butt out for a second. I'm talking to Lance. Hey, Lance, how are you doing?
Hey, Rob, how are you?
I'm doing okay, man. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm doing good.
Look forward to seeing you, man.
Yeah, man. It's Sunday,
followed by Monday. That's true.
All right. Now hold on, guys.
Yeah.
All right, now this is my question. I don't care who answers it. One of you two answer it. Because Rob, you said that you guys are self-made. Nobody puts you guys together. Neither one of you are, you know, what you would call a big guy. Neither one of you guys are huge guys. You're not 6 feet tall.
I originally wanted to
speak for yourself, Huck.
Hold on. Let me
wanted to call us the Beginners Division.
let me go ahead and get to my question. Are you guys surprised the fact that, you know, Vince Russo, you guys are Vince Russo approved. The Hurricane, Shane Helms, actually got on social media and was like, hey, look, my wife loves you guys. She's huge fans of yours. You guys are getting love. You know, Sami Callihan, so many of these indie darlings and wrestling stars, they see your gimmick. They see the Ugly Ducklings live, and these guys fall in love with you immediately. Did you see that happening when this team was formed? When this trios, when this group, when the Ugly Ducklings was formed, did you think that you were going to get the amount of adoration that you have now?
They recognize money.
That's one way to look at it, but I mean, also, well, like, coming from the business yourself, like, you know, and you realize that when you go out there in front of a crowd, it's just like with anything. When you present a new product, you present a new brand, you don't know how the crowd's going to take to it. They may like it. They may love it. I mean, you go one place and they may be in love with it. You go to another place and they absolutely hate it. So, I mean, when you go into it, you know, from the get-go, you can never really, I mean, you can have confidence, but you can't really go out there and be like, oh, hey, this is going to kill. What we had was we thought was going to be amazing, but I just don't think that anybody knew it was going to get as big as it has so far.
And more often than not, you also know, like, say that you go to a place and, like, say you might, people are unsure about you until they see you. You know what I mean? Even if they've seen it on paper, they know the gimmick or whatever, it's still like they're trepidatious. And they, until they see it. And then when you're out there and you feel the energy or whatever, or, you know, you're just out there, you get it. You know what I mean? There's just some people, there's nothing like the experience of seeing it live to actually understand what it's about. And that goes with any gimmick, really.
Oh, definitely, because I'm going to tell you the truth, man. You know, Rob Killjoy, I hate you, but I love you. Whatever, you know.
I hate myself.
We have that love-hate relationship thing going on. But I can admit that you got, you know, intermission, before the show, after the show, intermission, when you guys are at the gimmick table, fans of all ages, men, women, children, old, young, black, white, they rush to you guys. You guys have such a magnetic personality. Never mind the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that during intermission, 9 times out of 10, Rob Killjoy is going to grab the mic and start shilling their stuff.
Absolutely.
But
they need to turn that crappy music down so I can shill our stuff.
But you guys are loved by everybody. You have such a huge variety of fans and stuff. Lance, I'm going to ask you, what is the most surprised you've ever been at the gimmick table as far as the fan goes? Like that one fan that you didn't think was going to actually be a fan of yours, but they walked to the gimmick table just like, I love you guys. You guys are great. Quack, quack.
Every fan that came to our table at the CZW show we debuted for. When you debut for CZW, which is known for its death matches and hardcore, and then you get two cruiserweights coming out there quacking, acting like ducks, flying all over the place. You don't really think that they're gonna take to you, but they did, man, and it's surprising, and it's an awesome feeling to know that we're not just we're not just a one-hit thing with just kids. We're not a novelty act. We're actual wrestlers, and we're more than just a gimmick, and people see that, yeah.
Like you were saying before, Will, the whole, when people see us, the Ugly Ducklings is more a way of life more than a gimmick. Originally they wanted to call us the juniors division, and but I feel when you say Sammy Callahan, all these guys who like us, the Hardys, whoever, who dig our gimmick, who dig what we're doing, I feel like they recognize hard work, the work that we put in. They understand that we're driving, all day to get to a show. We're, for 10 minutes in the ring. They understand that we're out there, we're working hard, we're doing the drives, we're doing everything. And I feel that also translates to the fans. They understand that we're out there working hard. We're out there and I like to think that we're pretty good at what we do. And it shows that we put in the reps, we put in the hours, we put in the work. And I feel like fans can see that. Even if they're unsure about us when we come out, we're going to get you.
Now, Rob, this question is for you and stuff, man, because for the longest time I knew you, you were mainly a singles wrestler. But you have a great mind for the business. I'm not going to admit that. When it comes to, ladies and gentlemen, I will admit on my own show that when it comes to putting together a multi-person match, when it comes to putting together a triple threat match, a fatal four-way, a triple threat tag team match, there's very few people who have the mindset or the mind state and the psychology to put together that match like Rob Killjoy. Rob,
oh, shucks, you're going to make me blush.
Shut up. Going from being a singles wrestler for so long to being in a tag team, and don't get me wrong, you have an amazing Lance Rude. If you're going to pick a tag team partner, there's nobody, in my opinion, there's nobody else that fits better with you than Lance Rude. But mentally, for you, how was it any different going from being a singles wrestler to a tag team wrestler, basically full time? I understand you still do some singles matches, but 9 times out of 10 you're in a tag team. What is the difference for you?
Well, there is quite a difference. Say just the whole pacing and the whole mindset that goes into the match is pretty much completely different. But I like to think that I'm capable of doing both. But teaming with Lance for the past year and a half is definitely helped. I'm not sure. It's a completely different approach to the match. Think about it. You've got twice the wrestlers in the match. You've got almost a completely different set of rules in a way. Sometimes there's less rules, depending on where you are. But it's just you got to factor in a whole lot of things. But there's also so many different stories that could be told. I believe it was Bobby Eaton who I read before. He said, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact phrasing of it, but something along the lines of when you have 4 wrestlers in there, you can take twice as many bumps and do twice as much cool stuff you could do twice as much stuff and get away with it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks podcast. I am your host, the incredible Will Huckabee, speaking tonight to Lance Lude, Rob Killjoy, the Ugly Ducklings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you know these two guys, you know that there's a missing member. There's somebody that's a huge influential part of the Ugly Ducklings family. And right now, we're going to call this gentleman right now. Kev, if you don't mind, can you call our third guest for the night?
Don't you call for the Reno?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. What's this number?
Is this Coach Mikey?
Hey guys. Hello?
This is a Duck reunion. Coach Mikey, this is Will Huckabee on the Wrestling Nerdcast. I think that you already know that our two guests that we already have on the line right now, Lance Lude, Rob Killjoy, your partners in crime for the Ugly Ducklings.
Hey,
How did you get in my house?
Hey. Hi. Hello. I literally just started playing kickball and getting angry at the umpire.
Hey,
because you got web feet and it's hard to play kickball because you're a duck.
Yeah, it's hard for me to kick. And then I had to waddle the first and second and third.
Did you win?
Yeah, we won 13-6, but I like to win more than that.
Okay.
Okay. Now that you all have talked to each other, Coach Mikey, I want to talk to you real quick. I'm going to ask you, as the coach, because you don't call yourself the manager, you're the coach for the Ugly Ducklings. What is your role? What is your role in this franchise, in this duck pond, I guess you would call it?
Okay.
To keep the party going. Oh,
there it is. Nailed it.
All right. Thank you for having me.
There you go.
Yourself out.
No, I mean that's what it is. I mean, I feel like we all have a very special bond that doesn't just circle around us three. I feel like with that connection, while they're doing what they're doing in the ring, I'm able to make sure that the crowd is also involved in it. So it's a big kind of ordeal, and it is a big party. And when people call us and say, "Yeah, we like the party," we like the party.
Mikey.
What? Yeah, I like
PBR
too.
Mikey is, if I had to put not necessarily a label, but if I had to basically say what Mikey is to us, well, to me at least, he's our connection to the fans when we're unable to connect in the ring, if that makes sense. When we need someone to get that connection from the crowd and get them pumped and get them wanting us to come back, and that's our connection. Mikey is our connection to the crowd. He's
conduit.
Yeah, he's our voice. He's our voice of the voiceless.
Quackless.
Yeah.
To me, Coach Mikey is like a father figure who reminds me of a younger me that I want to.
What?
What?
I mean, you better play that back. Play that shit back.
He's a father figure that reminds you of a younger you. Yes, you can curse up here, Lance. Yes.
Fuck yeah.
To me, the only father figure I see of Mikey is if, I just showed up randomly at his door after 27 years when he was roadieing some, restaurant bar show, and he met some chick there that wanted to come back and see the hottest local band in the area, and she got Mikey, and she ended up being a mom, and now here we're meeting, and Mikey's still Mikey.
He is a roadie on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you, Rob, to kind of get some organization of this. How was the decision made? How was the decision made to bring Coach Mikey into the fold?
Well, I mean, we were just put together. Do you believe in fate, Mallory? No?
Yes, I do. Yes. Okay, yes, I do believe in fate for the sake of this story.
Say, our duck ponds were like Venn diagrams, and they just overlapped eventually, and they met up, and we're just like, "What's up?" And Coach Mikey was like, "I like to party," and we were like, "Hey, we like to party. You want to do an internet show together called Duck Pond?" He's like, "Yeah." And we're like, "Do you mind getting kicked in the face a couple times for our calls? You know, just in case if it ever benefits us." It's like, "Sure."
And he was like, "I got a hard head. I can do it."
He told us he could dive, and that was a lie. We taught him. It hasn't worked yet, but it will. Practice makes perfect. But, you know, like, I mean, he found us. Mikey, can you explain the secret of the ooze to him, please?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, basically, I tried my hand in coaching baseball, kickball, softball, football, soccer, volleyball, croquet, all those kind of sports. And they all suck.
Cricket,
So,
water polo, Marco Polo, hide and seek, Uno, Yahtzee. Coached all of it.
Yeah, coached them all. So,
Domino, motherfucker.
so I can't remember which job I got fired from, but I'm walking down the road and I'm kicking rocks, and all of a sudden I see these ducks, and they're in this pond, but the pond has this freaking canister that's broken open, and all this green ooze is coming out of it. And all of a sudden, I watched these ducks transform into Rob Killjoy and Lance Lude right in front of my eyes. And I said, "Boys, do you guys like to party?" And they said yes. And I said, "Do you guys like to wrestle?" And they said yes. And then the rest is history.
I feel like you just gave a brief.
And then he realized Then he realized those weren't portobello mushrooms he ate.
I was about to say, I feel like that you just gave a brief synopsis almost of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No.
Hey.
Listen,
No way. That actually happened.
That's a damn movie. All right, that is a movie. This shit happened for real.
No, it's funny because it was actually the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came up to me and they said, "You know, we really love your story. We'd like to make it cool.
All right.
We kind of wanted to be a rat, but the duck thing, I don't know. We're gonna make them turtles and add 2 more." And I said,
we didn't know Malachi yet. So.
How dare you piss it all like story will Huckabee?
All right, now look, Lance, I have a question for you, Lance.
We're waiting on our payday for them to tell our moves right now.
Okay, here's my question. When you started, did you think that you were going to have all of this going on? Like, you guys have T-shirts, you have, you know, ducks. You guys have your own video game. If somebody would have told you, you know, 2 years ago, "Hey, Lance, in 2 years, you're going to have your own RPG video game," what would you have said? Say again?
We actually have 2 video games.
I'm sorry, you have 2 video games. But if somebody would have told you, it's going to be 3.
And we're going to be a part of the 3rd one coming out soon.
That's what part of it.
But
how cool is it to have your own video game?
We get to stuff with you on a podcast. Yeah, it's super dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, especially since it was all fan-made. Like, we didn't get someone, like, we didn't go out and find someone to make a video game for us. We actually had someone come to us and was like, "Hey, you know, I'd really like to create a story for you guys and use it in video game form. Is that cool?"
Shout out to Alex Williams.
Yeah, shout out to Alex Williams. Thanks, Bubba. And, yeah, the rest is history on that.
Like, so you guys are so, obviously, we already said several times how creative you guys are and stuff, and how talented you guys are. I don't think anybody can understand how creative and talented you guys are unless I tell a story. This had, like, you know, a couple of weeks ago, you guys were booked WVCW up in West Virginia, Bluefield, West Virginia, for their big show, Miracle on the Mountain. You guys had a duck brawl. A duck house brawl with the Heat Seekers based out of Tennessee. And foregoing your usual colorful long tights, you guys decided to wear denim leggings. Some of the most creative shit I've ever seen in my life.
What else did you wear in a duck house brawl?
Say again?
What else would you wear at a Duck House Brawl?
Exactly. You guys, like, Lance had the pack of cigarettes. Like, he had the pack of cigarettes in the back of the leggings and stuff. You guys were just tore the house down. And unfortunately, like, I'm sitting there watching in the back, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I've got to follow this. And you guys, I'd like to think that we did a pretty good job of following you guys in the match. How painful, right? Because like I said before, you guys aren't the biggest of guys. A match like that, where it's weapons involved, and you're in the ring with guys who are sometimes twice or three times as big as you. How painful and how bad do you feel the next day?
The bigger they are, the harder they cry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel good. It takes a lot out of you to get whipped with fun noodles and rubber blow-up tools.
And
Hold on now. I think that the correct question you should be asking is, how does it feel the next day after we wrestle and beat guys who are so much bigger than us? But also, I think that we kind of glossed over your question earlier about if someone said 2 years ago, would we think that we would have our own video game and stuff? I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't know that. I definitely wouldn't think that the marketing would be, so I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but I'll come back to that. But I would also ask, if you're asking me 2 years ago, I would ask if you were a Terminator, and how would you know this? Are you from the future? Are you here to kill me? I think that would be a legitimate concern.
Are you John?
Okay.
Hello?
Who, me?
I'm not John Connor.
Are you John Connor? I need to talk to Sarah Connor.
Okay, Coach Mikey, this question is for you. Are you still mad at me for breaking your clipboard?
Yes.
Mm.
No, but listen.
We were on such a good roll. We were doing so well.
You are not the only one on that list of people that I'm mad at. There is a group called the Syndicate, which collectively broke my clipboard into many, many pieces.
How many times?
So maybe I forgive you a little bit, but I'm still kind of angry. But Syndicate, not going to forget now.
Okay, speaking of Syndicate, which is something I wanted to talk about, you guys work for PWX, Pro Wrestling Experience, in the western part of North Carolina. You guys have a tailgate party coming up right before their next show. What can the fans expect for an Ugly Ducklings tailgate party?
PBR.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide what to wear.
Yeah, I may actually. It's really, it's kind of like cutting into my tanning time. So I may actually lay out during this tailgate party. It may be a tail tan party for me.
Would you guys say, would it be fair to say that you guys may be the face of PWX? You guys were on, correct me if I'm wrong, you was on Good Morning Charlotte? If that was the name of the show, you guys were guests on a morning show in Charlotte, North Carolina. You guys were doing...
I did the weather.
Yeah, who did the weather? Okay, who did the weather that time?
That was me.
Coach Mikey, you were the weatherman?
Yeah. I'm the best weatherman in the world. You can ask a little boy named Evan, and he will tell you the same thing, because he's the man too, and he's going to grow up just to be as good as a weatherman as me. You just watch. I'm just telling you that right now.
Shout out.
Killjoy, I'm asking you the same question. How does it feel? Basically, in my opinion, you guys may be the face of PWX. How does that feel?
Well, we're not the face. We're definitely the duck lips of PWX.
Yeah.
We really fit the bill of that role.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
What was that you said, Lance? I'm sorry, you was breaking up.
Oh. Well, I said that we really fit the bill for that role.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. That was nice. Speaking of, like I said, speaking of PWX, you guys are in a heated feud with the Syndicate. Eli Evans, Timmy Lou Retton, Tommy Thomas, the other big black guy, I don't know his name. What do you guys want to say to them right now? You say, what do you want to say to these guys? Because I was at the show. I was at the last PWX show, and I've seen what went on and stuff. So what words do y'all have for the syndicate right now?
I say that we're not finished with them by a damn sight. They've got something that belongs to us, and we're going to invoke our rematch when they don't expect it. We're going to get our PWX tag team titles back, and our quactions speak louder than words.
Ooh, I like that.
I like how you said that. That was pretty good.
That's why I was my end line. I couldn't top that, so I finished.
What about you, Lance? What do you have to say?
I don't have anything to say. The last time we were in the ring with them, they destroyed my ribs. I had internal bleeding. I'm actually making my return to the ring this Sunday, July 2nd, for Warzone Wrestling in Fayetteville, North Carolina. But
at the former rock stop at 2 p.m.
I don't have anything to say because I'm gonna wait until we're face to face again, and then we're gonna let our actions speak for us when we roll all over and crumble their syndicate.
See, they busted up my duck-billed brethren real bad. They busted up Lance, and we're going to bust them up back. They say that they deserve it, or we're going to give them exactly what they deserve.
And I'll say something real quick.
Go ahead, Coach.
So the syndicate, but like more importantly, deeper than that, and this goes back since the first day I stepped foot in PWX. Tommy Thomas and me have never got along. Never got along, even when he was trying to do the right thing with different guys. With the syndicate.
It's insufferable.
The thing is, he believed that I was stepping on his toes when I came in as a coach, and he believes what he wants. But when he puts his hands on me, and then
he's no coach.
He has his.
Calm down, Mikey. Breathe.
I'm gonna knock his teeth out.
Easy, Mike. Easy, Mikey. Come on, don't be offensive.
It aggravates me, man. It aggravates me.
The syndicate's only been around, I don't even know how long now. 5 months, 6 months, I don't know. Something like that. Well, I don't know. It doesn't even really matter. But the thing is they've already, no matter the amount of time they've been in PWX, they've been around Tommy Thomas that same amount of time, and that's way too long because everything that guy touches turns to shit.
Yeah, what's Tom's through a Midas touch? The Tommy touch.
Right now, they may be on top of the world because Tommy thinks he has things figured out. But sooner rather than later, just like every other thing Tommy sticks his nose into, it's going to come crumbling down. Tommy's going to more than likely be the one to screw it up. And, yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
All right. Well, I know our time is getting short, but I know our time is running short and stuff. But I want to ask you guys one more question. You just debuted for AWE, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment down in Atlanta, Georgia and stuff, during the Southern Gaming Expo, the Bill and Ted's Excellent Tag Team Tournament and stuff, man. And I was so excited when I heard that you guys were announced for the Tag Team Tournament. I felt like the AWE fans were going to love you guys. Coming away from that experience, being at AWE, being in front of the AWE fans, how did you guys feel? Lance, I'm going to start with you. How did you feel after you guys were done with the tournament?
Oh, I mean, it was like one of those things that, like, I was talking about previously, like when you go to a new area, you go to a new company, a new promotion, and your music hits, and you know the reactions you get in other areas, and that this is the first time this place has ever seen you and what you do and what you present. And you go out there and they just basically like take to you like like glue, and it's awesome. We had an amazing experience there. We got to work with the Kraken and the Besties. Both teams are freaking amazing. It was so much fun, and honestly, we're really excited and can't wait to get to work with AWE again.
All right, Coach Mikey, I'm going to ask you, because you've already been to the AWE show. You've been to several AWE shows and stuff, so you knew what the crowd was like. You knew what the feeling of the show was like. Was there any amount of concern about whether or not the Ugly Ducklings were going to be well received by AWE?
To be honest, none at all, and that's not saying it in a cocky sense. I just think that AWE is the PWX of Georgia. Like, when I first went there, I felt so much at home just because it's the same atmosphere. And then when we were announced for the tournament, the response from the AWE crowd, just how stoked they were for us finally, and I felt like it was such a long time coming, and it was a perfect time to, I think, debut with the Ugly Ducklings in AWE in that tag tournament. And the moment we went out there, it to me was like a breath of fresh air, because it was like, finally, like, I feel like it was that match made in heaven. Like, it was like we were both on Tinder and we talked online for a while, and then we finally met, and we were like, oh, we're in love. That's what it felt like.
All right, Rob, I got a different question for you, Rob. I got a last question for you, Rob. It's going to be something totally different. Why the term workhorseman? And what does it take to be a what does it take to be a workhorseman?
Well, I mean, you go on a quest, you collect all the grilled cheeses. I mean, you put in the miles, you do the work. You know, Dowdy, there's select groups out there, like say, but our core group would be the workhorseman, but there's other chapters in other areas. I mean, if you can stake claim to it, then, I mean, yeah, we're not here to put the label on you, but you need to know that you can carry that label if you label yourself as such. Like say, think about it. Okay, for example, within a 4-day period, we were in Ohio, Indiana, and Iowa. Yeah, so I mean, just think about it like that. If you can put in the miles, you go do the work, you make your shots, you do what you're supposed to do. It's like, yeah, you'll know. Workhorseman again is a way of
Rob, not to cut you off, Rob, but there was actually in the month of March and April with our WrestleMania week, we did around 6 shows in 4 or 5 days. Had a day off and then went back on the road with Ohio, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, and Florida.
Yeah, I don't have the specifics with me right now, but I'm glad Lance. I can crazy trip. But yes, that's what a workhorseman is. Again, it's a way of life. And also, I enjoy AWE.
Well, gentlemen, like I said, I know that our time is running short. You guys are all very busy. I want to thank you all for being guests of the show. Right now, I want to, get all of you guys' social media. So we'll start with you, Coach Mikey. Where can the fans and listeners, where can my fans and listeners follow Coach Mikey on social media?
Well, I'll go ahead and take the Ugly Duckling role too. Ugly Ducklings on Facebook, Three Mother Duckers on Instagram and Twitter. Mikey Galino, Gulino on Facebook. Add me on there. It's Coach Mikey on Instagram and Twitter. Find me on Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid,
JDate, Farmers Only,
Black Planet.
Lance for the win. All right, Lance, where can our listeners find you on social media, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Lance Wood. I believe Mikey already said you can find the Ugly Ducklings at Three Mother Duckers. That's the number 3, and the words Mother Duckers, all in one little word. Let's see. You can also find the Ugly Ducklings on Facebook at the Ugly Ducklings. Yeah. That wraps it up.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Rob Killjoy, please give us your social media. And if any of you guys know, where can we see you guys coming up with pretty soon?
I mean, you'll have a different question for me this time. Okay. You can find us, like they said, at Three Mother Duckers and the Ugly Duckling. I'm Rob. You can type in Rob Killjoy. You'll find me on Facebook. Also at I'm Rob Killjoy on the Twitter dealio. Also coming up this weekend, like you said, you can see us at Warzone Sunday in Fayetteville, North Carolina at 2 p.m. Also, you'll be able to see myself at IWA Mid-South in Jeffersonville, Indiana this Thursday. Action Pack Wrestling in Chester, South Carolina Friday. Saturday at Firestar Pro Wrestling in Greensboro, North Carolina. And also we have coming up, we have PWX July 8th in Charlotte. That they're doing a joint show with Evolve. We're also back at AWE July 9th in Charlotte. I'm not in Charlotte, I'm sorry, in Atlanta, Georgia. They're also doing a joint show with Evolve. we've got a bunch coming up. We're at Palmetto Championship Wrestling in Columbia, July 7th. We've got a bunch of big stuff coming up. So if you get us up on our social medias, you'll definitely see our schedule because we post it all the time.
Well, once again, gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for being guests on the show. I want to tell all our fans and listeners to follow the other.
You could be, for one night only, you could be Will Duckabee. And there's one way that we sign off. There's only one way we sign off on these things. You guys know what it is. So, Will Duckabee, put your hand in the middle.
Put my hand in the middle.
Real quick, I had a special request to, there's someone that's trying to get a new hashtag started, and it's directed towards you, Will Huckabee. I was told to inform you of hashtag Hush That Mouth Will Huckabee from Timmy Lou Redden.
Why am I not surprised? But anyway, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for being guests on the show and stuff. And okay, for one night only, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a honorary member of the Ugly Ducklings. So I'm putting my hand in the middle right now, Rob Killjoy.
Will Duckabee,
so soft.
You know what to do. Come on, quack, 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 quack.
Thank you guys, man. I'll see you guys next weekend.
If we see you first. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Kev.
Holy cow, that was fun. I mean,
it was everything that I thought it was going to be and more.
I know. It was absolute fun, creative chaos. I love those guys.
Like you said, you got your first chance to see him at the show. I was talking about WVCW, Miracle on the Mountain and stuff. You already said how much you enjoyed their match and everything, and how much you enjoyed seeing those guys and talking to those guys and stuff, man. They're really cool. I want to tell all my fans and listeners, make sure to follow the Ugly Ducklings. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Contact them. You can buy all of their merch. These guys have some of the most incredible T-shirts and most amazing original T-shirts I've ever seen. Rock and roll inspired, cartoon inspired, just all over the place, man. Be sure to check them out on social media. If you see that they're going to be at a show anywhere within 2 hours of where you reside at, check them out and see them. I promise you, they're worth, just the Ugly Ducklings by themselves are worth the price of admission.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Kev, so that's the show. Like I said, it was everything we thought it was going to be. It's pretty funny, hilarious, chaotic, crazy. I don't know. I'm running out of adjectives. Can you help me out?
I think you covered it all.
Well, good. Anything special? So what do we have going on the AngryMarks podcast this week?
I don't think we have anything special going on. Of course, all the other shows on the network have just uploaded a new episode of Raw Reaction. Yes, actually uploaded an episode of Raw Reaction. I was supposed to 2 weeks ago, and I don't know what happened. I think I lost it. Apparently I am being blamed for having some anti-Russo feelings interfere with my duties as a podcast producer. I disavow that on the show directly. I don't know if I've convinced Vic and Tenzai of it. if Vince Russo ever wanted to work a deal, if he wanted to get rid of his shitty co-host on his podcast and come work with a real professional such as Killer Kev, I promise I won't lose his shows. Well, I shouldn't make that promise. I might lose his shows. I can't make that promise to anybody, at all. But I think I could be more professional than whatever hack he's got going right now. I just don't know if Stevie J could handle it. I definitely, no. Abby would probably lose her mind.
I think Abby and the Great Sudoku would quit.
No, I don't think they'd quit. I think we could convince them all to stay on and keep going. We just have to keep them in separate corners. Make sure that those podcast streams never cross. But we go over that a little bit on the show. We'll have a new episode of Glove Up or Shut Up posted tomorrow night, Thursday night, AMP. We'll be up Thursday night, Friday morning. You'll have, I believe you should have a new episode of Impact Implosion with Seth and Mike. And that'll pretty much be our weekend.
All right. Well, it's always an amazing lineup for the Angry Marks podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, if you're not following this or listening to this weekly, like, you're missing out, man. Some of the best wrestling podcasts, wrestling and MMA podcasts out there right now, including this show. This Saturday, let's see what I have. This Saturday, I will be in Nashville, North Carolina for NWA Mid-Atlantic. Super excited. They had some issues going on with the armories of North Carolina and stuff. The North Carolina armories actually had some issues going on and stuff where they had to cancel a bunch of shows. But they're doing their first show back after 2 months. It's looking to be amazing. They have the WWA 4 heavyweight champion, the first female to ever be the WWA 4 heavyweight champion. Demetri DeRose takes on a debuting Bobby Hansen. Vinny Vane, the NWA North Carolina champion, is taking on DeAndre Jackson from out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Big, huge bruiser, crazy guy. Let's see who else. TK Stark, a buddy of mine. TK Stark is taking on LFA Manuel Martinez out of New York. They have the Airtime Rockers, myself. There's a bunch of people that's going to be on the show. Then Sunday, I will be in Racine, West Virginia for Mega Championship Wrestling. Just had a great match with OVW standout, Tyler Matrix. I have no idea who I'm facing, Sunday, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. Great show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're anywhere within the area of those two shows, definitely come out, check me out, come see me at the gimmick table, buy a t-shirt, buy a picture, get an autograph, or just say hello. You listen to the show. That's all I care about. Just buy a t-shirt, get an autograph, say, hey, I'm a huge fan of the show. Who gives a shizzle? So anyway, Kev, great show. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. So on behalf of the friends of the Wrestling Nerdcast, the Prophet Rick Craig, the Bearded Wonder, a.k.a. Doc Vanderbeard, Zane Paisley, Troy Miller, Drew Skills,